we're streaming live on YouTube. We're on the record in case number 9722, which is captioned Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, Maryland Division, Sandpiper Energy, Inc., and Elkton Gas Company's application for general increase in their natural gas rates and for approval of certain other changes to their natural gas tariffs. This is phase 2. We're here for a pre-hearing conference. We'll start with appearances. Mr. Quinn on behalf of the companies.
Brian Quinn on behalf of the joint applicants. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Maryland Office of People's Counsel.
Ryan Chu on behalf of Maryland OPC.
And staff.
Ruthie Herman on behalf of staff, and may I also enter the appearances of my colleagues Harrison Scher and Mike Dean.
The original date to which rates were suspended in phase 1 was January 21 of 2025. Is that correct?
Subject to check. I believe that's correct, Your Honor.
Do you have that, Mr. Shu?
Not in front of me, but
Your Honor, did you say January 1?
21.
Yeah, that 21. That sounds familiar.
Mr. Quinn, what do you propose to do with exhibit numbering in this case, phase 2?
Your Honor, we'll do whatever your preference is. I know there was a, perhaps the thing to do is to start again with a phase 2 designation on exhibits.
Okay. I think that makes sense because I think we were in the 40s, weren't we?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I saw the draft procedural schedule the parties proposed. I don't think that the procedural schedule in this phase 2 needs to be extended out that long. I'll hear argument on why perhaps it needs to be, but I can't imagine why it would need to be extended out as long as it is.
Your Honor, staff proposed it mostly based on resources, staff resources. That's the only reason. I can go back to the divisions and the witnesses and ask them if they can.
No need. Yeah. I'm going to set a procedural schedule.
Okay.
Do you know how many witnesses staff plans to have in this phase 2 proceeding?
At least accounting and TGW, so at least 2, maybe 3.
Accounting is reviewing one item, right?
At least 1, yes, to my knowledge. And maybe the items you talked about earlier this morning, too, based on the bench's questions about the ACA, but at least the CIS. And then we have the Evan Thomas reviewing the I'm sorry, the rate design. Yes, excuse me. Thank you.
Okay. Which the parties previously settled, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The staff had 8 witnesses in phase 1, and you might have 3 in this phase 2. Mr. Shu, OPC had 4 in phase 1. Do you know how many OPC intends to have in phase 2?
I believe about 3.
What types of witnesses would those be?
Rate design, accounting for the CIS cost, and then look into possibly a prudency witness.
You haven't retained that expert yet?
Well, no, we have, but.
And the company they had 12, I believe, in phase 1. Does that sound right, Mr. Quinn?
That sounds right, and I think we have 6 now.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the procedural schedule that I intend to issue. That staff and OPC direct testimony would be due January 23rd. When you have rebuttal testimony, is that the company rebutting staff and OPC? Does staff or OPC really intend to rebut each other?
theoretically possible, but
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead. So we prefer that there be at least 3 weeks between direct and rebuttal, just in case there's something we have to. I can't predict it until
But it's likely just the companies rebutting your testimony. So if we're squeezing it, we're only squeezing the companies. We're not squeezing you, likely. So I was going to go with February 7, 2025.
February 7th, Your Honor?
Yes.
Just, Your Honor, just like to be heard. I've been told by my witnesses to try to keep it a larger gap between direct and rebuttal and servable. That's what they've asked. We're going to do what you say, but I just wanted to make sure that I've expressed what the witnesses have told me.
I understand. I don't even know why we need a rebuttal.
Okay.
Evening public hearing will be held in February with a date and time to be nailed down. That'll be virtual. Mr. Quinn, you're going to file rebuttal testimony on February 7th. You won't be filing rebuttal on February 21st, will you?
No need, Your Honor.
Okay, so the rebuttal date is for staff and OPC to rebut what the company files on the 7th. How is March 3rd and 4th for an evidentiary hearing?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can I just ask, what did you decide for staff's deadline for filing rebuttal?
I have that as February 21.
And again, I would just respectfully like to say what my witnesses have asked me. If they read the rebuttal on February 7th and they have questions, they issue DRs. The DRs are back in 5 business days, depending on how soon they can get it out. It's the witnesses have told me that 2 weeks is, in their view, very tight. But thank you for any consideration.
But Mr. Quinn is going to respond to your DRs in a very short period of time, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. If you'd like to set a date, a time certain, that's fine. But we've been responding early in Phase 2 DRs to date, and we can continue that practice.
How many days have you been using to respond to DRs so far?
Within 7.
But you're going to speed that up. 7 business?
Yep. And sometimes earlier, depending upon how many there are. We're trying to respond to DRs as soon as we get them and not waiting.
So March 3rd and 4th are good days for the PULJ calendar and for me. Any conflicts that can't be addressed?
Staff is fine with those days, Your Honor, for evidentiary hearings.
So if those days are fine, we'll extend staff and OPC's rebuttal to the 26th.
That would be great. Thank you, Your Honor.
And I will shorten the company's time to respond to your data requests.
And, Your Honor, can maybe heard about
It's already down to 3 business days after February 7th.
Oh, yeah, pardon me. I just want to be heard that we have had no problems getting information back from the company. They've been fast, and so I didn't want to at all say that they were a problem. Just want to make sure I said that.
I guess we can address this later, but I think technically the way we wrote the discovery procedure is a little off. But I think after rebuttal would be February 7th. Currently on here is 5 business days.
I have responses to all data requests served before January 23, 10 business days. Responses to all data requests served on and after January 23 through February 7, 5 business days. Responses to all data requests sent after February 7 are due within 3 business days. It would seem as though the first one could be shortened to 7 based on what Mr. Quinn just said. But other than that, we go 7, 5, 3.
So to be clear, Your Honor, starting today, it's 7.
starting when I get this notice out, which should be today, yes.
Understood. Thank you.
I don't know that we'll need it, but I would propose we start the evidentiary hearing at 9 a.m. both days so that we get it in the 2 days. Does anyone have a problem with starting at 9?
Staff is fine with that. Thank you.
We'll be here. A briefing schedule will be discussed at the time of the evidentiary hearing. We're not going to set that now. Okay, other than that I've made most people unhappy, is there anything else we need to do today?
No, Your Honor. One point of clarification. The evidentiary hearings work fine for the company and for myself. We have 2 rate design witnesses, but I think you said pending some conflict that is unavoidable. I'll just have to contact them. I don't have their calendars in front of me, but if something is amiss, I will email the parties and Your Honor ASAP, but
Okay.
I don't anticipate a problem.
Okay, because otherwise I'll get this notice, try to get this out later today.
I'll get the answer within the hour.
Okay, anything else? Mr. Shu?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Irvin?
Nothing else. Thank you so much.
We are adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.